when we check the calibers and the personalities of the people he has just appointed, we would we want to believe that there has been a good template, to have done the evaluation, to have come up with this. How can you say that these people who he has just appointed are the best of best fits for these positions?
The only name that I recognize is Fela Durotoye, because he's been a motivational speaker. He's run for president a couple of times. So I think he ran for president in 2015, or was it 2019? So I'm not in a position to speak to the competence of the other gentlemen and ladies on that list. So in fairness to them, I'll simply, skip that. But I think that for me, the issue is about the way we set our priorities in the country. There was once a president in this country who came into office, and for about his entire first tenure, we didn't know of a chief economic advisor. It's become conventional for Nigerian presidents to appoint chief economic advisors because, economics is at the core of what you do as a president is the economy. So, and even if you're a professor of economics, you also, because you'll be distracted with other things, you also need somebody to advise you specifically on how to, maintain equilibrium on the economic front. So, when you populate, the team of spokespersons for government, and we are not seeing a functional economic team consisting of people with proven records as a counterbalance to this, it would seem to me that you are more interested in public perception than in the substance of governance. And that has been one of Nigeria's bans. We see a situation where, a government, just to illustrate, a government spends, say, 80 naira to sink a borehole, and then spends 120 naira to publicize that borehole. We are more interested in public perception. One of the disadvantages of having this, because this is actually a crowd, the saying, too many cooks spoil the broth. Yeah. There's already a presidential spokesman, Ajuri Ngalali. There is already a minister of information. I would imagine that would suffice as people who speak for government, because all of these things, all of these people are supposed to be people who manage government. Forget about the titles. All of these people are going to be people who will manage government image. All of these people are supposed to launder government's image. That's what it's down to. Yes. So when you begin to worry about image and not, the easiest way to launder your image is to do the right thing. And you're very likely going to see a situation, because if they all go out at the same time, you're likely going to see a situation where now this is the real cacophony of voices now. Because the question is, you'll be seeing information emanating from different directions, and you'll be asking yourself, who exactly is the person speaking for government? You're going to see a situation where in some cases, they may even begin to contradict each other. That's my fear here. And for me, this speaks to the priorities of this government. It seems to me that this government is going the way of many of the previous governments, which is to concentrate more on public perception than on the substance of governing. Because if you do the right thing, which is what I continue to insist, once a government does the right thing, you don't even need an image launderer. Nigerians will key in. Once Nigerians notice, for example, an improvement in power supply, once Nigerians notice that for some curious reasons, they don't have to spend hours on the road because the roads are in the proper state, they are not in states of dilapidation or disrepair, Nigerians will normally, have a positive attitude towards that government. You don't need anybody coming to woodwink Nigerians. There was a government that also, let's even be more specific. The Buhari government allegedly had something called the Buhari Media Office or something, a troll farm on the internet. What their own business was simply to go after anybody who they consider an opponent of government on the social media. I just hope we don't get to that level, but it seems to me that step by step we are getting that direction now, when you begin to populate the entire setup with all kinds of spokespeople. Some of these things are things that can ordinarily be taken up by institutions that are in existence. I noticed something about national orientation or public perception or something to that effect. National Orientation Agency is there. Something about values. That's what the national orientation is there for. To, market Nigeria's values to Nigerians, make them understand certain things that about government policies. Why then create a special, an office for that kind of thing already, when there's an agency of government that, if properly funded, can discharge that responsibility without you having to duplicate the position?